cowardly leadership is a curse upon God's people. And the bad news is we are led by cowards. So second point, the curse of cowardly leadership. And I want to use this opportunity to share a piece of historical, theological information with you. It's a wonderful sermon I found in preparation of this talk by Samuel Davies. Samuel Davies was an early American Presbyterian minister, and he preached a sermon titled "The Curse of Cowardice" in 1758. This was during the French and Indian War, and Davies had moved back to Hanover, Virginia, and he was trying to rally the local militia to join in and fight with the British. At that time, they were still all British, against the French and against the Indians. And so this is an excerpt from the sermon he preached, so please listen because this is good. He says, "When in this corrupt, disordered state of things, where the lusts of men are perpetually embroiling the world with wars and fighting, and throwing all into confusion, when ambition and avarice would rob us of our property for which we have toiled, on which we subsist, when they would enslave the freeborn mind and compel us meanly to cringe to usurpation and arbitrary power, when they would tear from our eager grasp the most valuable blessing of heaven, I mean our religion, when they invade our country, formerly the region of tranquility, ravage our frontiers, butcher our fellow subjects, or confine them in barbarous captivity in the dens of savages, when our earthly all is ready to be seized by rapacious hands, and even our eternal all is in danger by the loss of our religion. When this is the case, what is then the will of God? Must peace then be maintained with our perfidious and cruel invaders, maintained at the expense of property, liberty, life, and everything dear and valuable, maintained when it is in our power to vindicate our right and do ourselves justice? Is the work of peace then our only business? No. In such a time, even the God of peace proclaims by his providence to arms. And if we have ever lived in a point in time in American history since then that we could argue that now is a time to arms again, I think we are getting close. Now, Davies sets that out and says that it is right, even though as Christians we seek peace, that when the enemy is pressed upon us, if we fail to heed the call to arms, then we are acting as cowards. And he says this, he says, "Those who act like cowards are ungrateful men who sin against God and his country and deserves the curse of both. Such conduct and such a conjecture," so the conduct of cowardice in the moment of time when the call is to arms, "is a moral evil, a gross wickedness, and exposes the wretch to the heavy curse of God both in this and the eternal world." So to be ruled by cowards in a time of war is a curse, because God hates cowards.